Linda Velasquez, publisher of Greenroofs.com, connecting the planet with living architecture. Welcome to my 2023 Top 10 list of hot resilient trends in green roof and green wall design, building resilience with living architecture. I've been curating my hot top 10 list of innovative, important, and amazing projects since 2007, and I promise that 2023 will not disappoint. Some of these are conceptual, some on the boards, in construction, and some already built, but they all have one thing in common: to inspire us to become better living green architecture designers and stewards of the built environment. Last June, I presented an early version of my hot top 10 list in Berlin at the World Green Infrastructure Congress, which was a really great conference, by the way. We got to hear from and meet some of the designers of several of these standouts, so that was pretty cool. Since then, I've added more incredible projects to round out the second half of 2023. Each year, as I start out compiling, I ask which designers, projects, and technologies are presenting avant-garde architecture, and which cities are best planning long-term responses to resiliency with living architecture and green infrastructure. So, let's get started without further ado. Number 10, client-specific boutique green roofs and green walls. Our perennial favorite for those living roof and wall projects just too unique to fit into any other category. The stunning Millenaris Zelkapu or Gate of Winds Park, green walls, and three-dimensional hanging garden in Budapest is influencing local government while performing beautifully. Because of the success of this park, starting last year in 2022, the 13th district of Budapest now obliges developers to build 5 to 10% green frontage on new office and commercial buildings with a frontage of over 500 square meters. The city completed its first comprehensive analysis of green space investment developments in the country, examining the quantitative and qualitative impacts of new green space development. Positive benefits of the development included the tourism impact, increased socio-cultural links, positive impact on quality of life, and innovative and awareness-raising impact. All the green wall surfaces are vertical extensions of the horizontal green areas of this park, adding 4,550 square meters of running frontage to the urban green space. 3 types of green facades are found at the park. Concrete building facades are a Hungarian-developed modular system planted with 10 types of perennials. The Market Boulevard facade has pre-grown ivy panels, which highlight a really cool waterfall feature. And of course, the most spectacular element is the 230-meter-long steel structure that is the 3D hanging garden, planted with 15 types of creeping vines. The Zelkapu Park has the largest green facade completed in the country and Central Europe to date. The impressive 4-story hanging garden measures 6.6 meters wide and 19.3 meters high and has solar panels installed on its top floor. The green walls provide habitat, nesting, and food for small bird species and pollinators. In total, there are 355 trees, 25,500 shrubs, 49,200 perennials, 22,000 ornamental grasses, and 43,400 bulbs. Approximately 30% of the park was built on the top of a 20,000 square meter underground car park using green roof technology, along with several green roof structures on top too. The green zone's diverse, grandiose architectural elements also include a cherry tree grove, a forest field lake trio, a spectacular design of freestanding solar panel structures, and tons of trees which now grace the former brownfield. And BIM technology was used to quantify minute calculations and modifications. A super cool design. The Dalizi Kindergarten in Leshan, China is an organically shaped building whose name originates from the Book of Mountains and Seas and means a place of forgotten beauty. Its narrative seeks to redefine educational architectural narratives to form an inspiring and holistic environment for children. The sensuous, undulating, mountain-inspired forms reflect its elevation and the slope's terrain. The designers say it's like a living building that grows and spreads upward. Dika also states, architecture used imagination to expand cognitive boundaries of kindergarten design. The kindergarten's designers wanted to challenge traditional spatial thinking and have embraced a variety of organic elements so children can find their own beautiful place. Dika continues, saying it's a joint creation from different cultural fields, making the kindergarten no longer confined to a school-like building. Children are no longer bound by reading and writing, but are more interested in games, imaginative content, and creation. What a great place to have children learn about and study nature. The Pan-Pacific Orchard in Singapore was created to be a new prototype for high-rise tropical hospitality. The Jenga-like Verdant Hotel Sanctuary exhibits exemplary architectural design which draws nature inwards. The 23-story, 347-room garden hotel has alternating planted terraces cut into the building's rectangular form at 4 levels. The hotel features 4 seamlessly connected stacks from bottom to top: the forest, beach, garden, and cloud. The garden terrace level showcases an orthogonal garden with reflection pools and generous planter beds. The beach terrace forms an organically shaped emerald lagoon. It has mirrored ceilings and vine-clad columns which offer shading and radiant cooling. There's a rooftop solar canopy which bathes the area with natural light filtering through the PV roof canopy. The hotel received Singapore's Green Mark Platinum rating, the city-state's highest sustainability rating. The forest terrace at ground level features vegetation with cascading waterfall and serves as a public park. The cloud terrace on the top offers a panoramic view of the skyline. In fact, each terrace supplies distinctive landscape and amenities. And the building's innovative design replaces 200% of its site with greenery. Also known as the Garden Terminal, or a terminal in a garden, the Kempegowda International Airport Terminal 2 is located in Bengaluru, India. The new 255,000 square meter terminal is designed and built on 4 key pillars: terminal in a garden, sustainability, technology, art, and culture. A series of interconnected buildings is joined by landscape spaces and is populated with plants, bamboo-clad pavilions, indoor waterfalls, and rattan furnishings, and a stunning 3-story forest belt. It's the largest airport building in the world that has been pre-certified as LEED Platinum, and it's dripping with green walls, hanging gardens, and green roofs galore. The terminal has plenty of outside greenery and within its domestic entry. With a serious sense of conservation, plants have been selected from around the world. They're acclimatized prior to installation, and there's an on-site exterior nursery. Inside the massive structure, gray water is captured and recycled. There are various rare species of cycads, ancient olives, and Dracaena dracos, in addition to agaves, yuccas, aloes, and more. In total, about 400 species from the Mediterranean are thriving here. The airport practices topsoil conservation, a microbial biome, and follows sustainable landscape methods, carbon sequestration, and also has climate-smart irrigation and compatible planting palettes. Tropical and subtropical flora are represented here with over 3,600 species, including more than 1,200 trees, 1,800 shrubs and ground covers, and over 190 palms. The colorful plant palette represents 400 types of lilies and lotus, over 400 roses and hibiscus, and 100 heliconias and gingers. A very cool thing is that some of the rare plants have flowered, and seeds will be collected for new propagation by the airport and then shared back with the original providers. The new Kempegowda International Airport Terminal 2 reflects Bengaluru's rich culture, history, and its nature as the garden city and technology hub of India. Number 9. Subterranean ripples in the landscape, weaving resilient hardscape and vegetative softscape into the natural land. Earth-sheltered sustainability protects and cools down temperatures like modern cave dwellings. In Mykonos, Greece, the Latipi residence offers a magnificent indoor-outdoor living concept. The residence is sculpted out of the sloping arid terrain with all the spaces developed around an atrium. Wrapped with full-height windows, the residence's living spaces seamlessly extend into its Mediterranean nature. The aim was to weave both the hardscape and softscape of the building into the landscape, and A31, the architects state, the building is guided by the plot's topography, slope, and orientation, while flowing among the solid ground and not above it. The above-ground area spans 120 square meters, and the embedded underground section about 130 square meters. According to the architects, the planted roofs were meticulously planned to preserve the ecology of the surrounding scenery, and the landscape design is based on the existing natural terrain, borrowing from its elements and reinterpreting the variety, textures, and colors of native plants to create a new palette on the roof and its surrounding environs. The Hans Christian Andersen Museum and Fairy Tale Garden in Odense, Denmark, is called the city's new breathing space and recently won the Danish Landscape Prize for 2023. The landscape architects say the garden stimulates the senses and tickles the imagination, where hedges are exaggerated, deformed, and stretched to encircle Andersen's story's complex and ambiguous worlds. Its design layout creates a lively interaction with the H.C. Andersen House, now a museum, developed by Kengo Kuma and Associates. Over 2/3 of the H.C. Andersen House is situated underground to allow more space for the garden, which activates the city's street life with its 6 entrance points. The garden is free and open to the public. Over 1,200 hedge plants and 11,000 perennials, 28,000 bulbs, and 38 large trees represent themes in his work. The garden atmosphere has magic, mystery, and fantasy, just what you'd expect from a fairy tale author. The Grdau Winery in the Czech Republic emerges as a ripple in the verdant landscape, blending in harmoniously as a green extension of its surroundings. Blending so well it's hard to even see it at certain perspectives. The region has a rich winemaking heritage, and the owners wanted the architecture to sit lightly on the land. The green roof is a lightweight system consisting of sedums and herbs and represents the symbiotic relationship between architecture and nature. In addition, 150 shrubs and mature trees were strategically planted in the surrounding area, and some trees actually pierce through the perforated roof, creating interest and a lot of fun. The winery has expansive glazed surfaces for sun protection and generous terraces for tasting, eating, and relaxing. The wine production, storage, and preservation is subterranean, while the ground level offers wine tasting, seating, and sales. Plus, the property boasts 2 apartments for overnight guests. How lucky to be able to spend the night here! With its ideal situation on the pristine landscape, the Grdau Winery is contributing to increasing the wine and wine tourist culture in the Czech Republic. On the bottom right, you can see the 2 brothers who own and operate the place, having a well-earned glass of their wine on top of the green roof. Number 8, Sanctuaries of Healing, Equity, and Urban Ag, Resiliency for the Mind, Body, and Soul. Fruitful structures built for the benefit of our psyches and physical needs. The Boston Children's Hospital Healing Gardens in Massachusetts is a part of the Green Urban Design Plan, which creates human-centered design with accessible green spaces. 8 unique gardens on the property reimagine communal open space within a clinical environment. On the 11th floor, an 8,000 square foot garden offers sweeping Boston skyline and harbor views, a knoll for free play, diverse seating options, which are both covered and open, and lush plantings. This area incorporates a special design for disabled and immunocompromised kids. More immersive garden experiences offer ranges of experiences on site, from quiet contemplative to active and social, plus offering a sense of play. These include 2 welcoming street-level gardens, a 12th floor roof garden, a 5th floor garden adjacent to the psychiatric care, a 7th floor green roof, and 2 interior winter gardens totaling 3,700 square feet. The Boston Children's Hospital exudes a lovely and peaceful environment, bringing restorative healing gardens and more effective medical care to patients, families, and caregivers. The 7-story, 65-unit multifamily Hub 32 in Chicago offers affordable public housing. The panels on the building's exterior create a sense of depth and texture that's meant to evoke the feeling of a handmade quilt. Its design inspiration also includes the city's centuries-old history of courtyard buildings. The green roof courtyard will create usable center space, which will provide privacy and safety, plus community engagement for people to gather and share experiences. It's destined for residents making less than 60% of the area median income, with shared amenity spaces and laundry rooms, plus some apartments have private balconies. The shared green roof offers residents a sense of connection and opportunities to grow fresh vegetables and herbs. Hub's courtyard typology promotes pedestrian-oriented neighborhoods as an alternative to sprawl, and its design follows 5 guiding principles: equity, innovation, a sense of place, environmental stewardship, and community engagement. Architect Brooks and Scarpa say, design excellence is not mutually exclusive. It can and should be for everyone. Wonderfully said. Famous for their green bioclimatic designs covered in vegetation, the headquarters of Vo Trong Nia Architects in Ho Chi Minh City is wrapped in tropical greenery with a roof garden. The building is emblematic of the firm's plant-filled, low-energy architecture. They declare, new generations in urban areas are losing their connection with nature, plus we all know that food supplies are in jeopardy. Flexible planters cover the glazed southern side of the headquarters to prevent overheating and create shaded microclimates for the office interiors. The workspaces are organized around a central atrium, which are light-filled spaces. Together with the roof garden and the ground plantings, in total the greening system provides up to 190% of green ratio to the site area, which equates to 1.1 tons of harvest. The local vegetation is irrigated with stored rainwater, and evaporation cools the air, providing a comfortable tropical work environment. The urban farming office was designed to showcase the possibility of vertical urban farming, and they've done a fantastic job. Number 7, cultural resiliency, informing design strategies. Protecting and promoting heritage keeps a community strong and healthy. The Kwatu San Heritage Center in South Africa represents the embassy of the San spirit and strives to restore dignity and cultural pride, navigating a practical path between the old ways and the new world. Nestled among a granite ridge overlooking the Atlantic Ocean, the native green roof merges the building into the setting. You can visit, tour, book a delicious meal, or even stay for the night while learning about the San people, the surviving indigenous culture of South Africa. The Heritage Center shows human origins through contemporary San life, which is a compelling story told in 3 thought-provoking buildings. Here, the building is conceived as an organic landscape with an emphasis on sustainable and ethical design. For more authenticity, the designers used a special concrete mix on the floor to emulate the colors of the Kalahari San environment. The roof parapets of the Heritage Center are molded to support the growing medium on top of multi-layered drainage insulation boards. Internally, the exposed granite rocks become an integral part of an exhibition wall. The heritage restitution, conservation, and responsible tourism practice create a powerful learning experience for young San from across southern Africa. The Hunter-Dwarsert Art Center and Waiwi Maori Art Gallery is a beautiful award-winning project in Whangarei, New Zealand. As background, in 1993, Austrian architect and designer Hunter-Dwarsert was invited to design an art gallery for Whangarei. Opened last year, it's Aotearoa's first and only Maori contemporary art gallery. It was designed to reflect Hunter-Dwarsert's belief in the importance of integrating nature into the built environment. The types of native Northland-specific plants used on the roof are offshore island, threatened, endangered, or rare species. Integrating endemic species with fruiting trees allows people to wander through the roof forest to discover, pick, and eat fruit. They want you to feel like a guest of nature on the roof. The living roof creates a rich habitat for plants, insects, and birds, fostering a thriving ecosystem that supports biodiversity. The landmark biodiverse living roof is home to the rarest tree in the world, the Three Kings Keiko Mako. Forest plantings are set randomly, allowing spontaneous vegetation beneath the trees where new plants can self-seed. The innovative design of the green roof resulted in an interlocking network of cells which maintains the substrate, trees, and drainage on the 1-in-4 slope. The green roof has withstood 2 cyclones and several major weather events since it was installed last year. The Maori quote translates to, "Care for the land, care for people, go forward." Words to live by, right? The Museum of the Future in Dubai is a high-profile, iconic landmark for science and technology. Its gleaming torus sits gently on a mounded landscape. And to reduce solar gain and the heat island effect, over 2/3 of the building is situated below the podium green roof. The building and landscape set new benchmarks for innovation and resilient design. The parking and infrastructure are concealed under its green skin. The exterior torus facade comprises windows forming an Arabic poem in calligraphy by Dubai's ruler about the Emirates' future, with 1,024 unique 3D fire-retardant composite panels in stainless steel. The building depicts a ring around a void, designed to represent future knowledge that is yet to be revealed. The green mound represents Earth, with the main building symbolizing humanity. The Museum of the Future is where people can see, touch, and shape our shared future. And the landscape presents the latest innovation in green wall and steep slope technology, which here can attain 60-degree slopes. Smart irrigation systems use gray and treated sewage water. The lightweight expanded polystyrene, or EPS geofoam, was used with cocoa peat and perlite to improve the soil's water-holding capacity, creating a lightweight planting medium. Native self-propagating plants adapted to poor saline soils were implemented, including sea purslanes, grasses, and ground covers, plus gaff, cedar, and acacia trees. The museum uses passive solar design, low energy and low water engineering solutions, plus recovery strategies for energy and water, using building integrated renewables from an off-site solar farm. Number 6. Starchitects discover Ecuador. Jean Nouvel, Big, Safdie, Mad, and Philippe Starck. New vertical urban shifts in the traditionally low-density, highly biodiverse country is transforming Quito into a cornerstone of architecture, design, and innovation. Atelier Jean Nouvel kickstarted the big-name architects coming into Ecuador. His aquarela represents its namesake style of watercolors, with lovely muted colors of stone and vegetation. Nestled in a lush valley on the side of a volcano east of Ecuador's capital of Quito, Aquarela is a high-rise apartment complex with towers between 7 and 10 stories high. Completed earlier this year, it boasts a huge array of residence amenities. These are recent photos, and you can imagine just how lush it will be when it's grown in just a little bit. The green roofs and vegetated balconies are watered with harvested rainwater, and the gray water is filtered and recirculated. 850 new trees were planted on site, and Aquarela has solar panels mounted on surfaces too. It's really just beautiful, sustainable design. This is Icon by Big Bjarke Engels Group, and it's their first project in South America. The 32-story rotating green facade of planted exposed concrete blocks is 133 meters high, making it the tallest skyscraper in the capital, with 215 residences, shops, offices, and lots of amenities. Planted with natives, the cascading balconies become an extension of the nearby La Carolina Park. Icon offers 1 to 3 bed apartments, including 9 penthouses, and each is positioned to ensure panoramic views over Quito and the Pichincha volcano. Each terrace has a different species of tree, and a really cool feature is that once they outgrow their planters, thought to be around 5 years, they'll be replanted in parks all over the city. Safdie Architects presents Corner, a 24-story fractalized tower featuring vertically stacked dwellings with units staggered in and out. Generous landscape terraces on each level have operable glass walls that merge indoor and outdoor living, and they take advantage of Quito's year-round temperate weather. Indigenous regional plantings in the protruding balconies resemble the hillside. Corner is set back from the street, creating a generous tree-lined sidewalk with retail and restaurants opening up to the street and inviting passers-by in. Next up is Condesa. Hey, you gotta love all the Q for Quito names, right? Well, Condesa is MAD's first venture into South America, and its gently leaning planted facade is designed to resemble twisting vines with intimately scaled urban apartments. The exterior stone coloring was chosen in reference to the surrounding buildings that have been constructed from volcanic rocks. Condesa will also be located next to the 67-hectare La Carolina Park and connected to the rest of the city via the neighboring Iñaquito Metro station. Once completed in 2027, it will take the title of the city's tallest building from Big's nearby Icon Tower. Yugay by You, inspired by Stark, is located in Guayaquil, Ecuador. You, inspired by Stark, is luxury designer Philippe Stark's brand at You. At 176 meters high, the 46-floor mixed-use skyscraper will be located alongside the Rio Guayas running through the river. The arches serve as frames, seamlessly connecting with the surrounding landscapes. Plus, it integrates windows and shutters for ventilation. Native tropical vegetation combines the charm of urban living with waterfront panoramas. By the way, local developer Uribe Schwarzkopf has been involved in all of these future iconic projects and appears to be a force to be reckoned with. Number 5. Bathed in nature. Are floating cities really the answer to sea rise, climate refugees, garbage, and coral restoration? Autonomous floating urban resiliency? Well, the UN and designers seem to think so. In 2019, the UN started a high-level roundtable on sustainable floating cities, discussing their potential as a solution to climate change threats facing urban areas. After a few prototypes, Oceanics Busan was unveiled in 2022. It will offer 15.5 acres of interconnected platforms for 12,000 people with the potential to expand to over 100,000. Each floating neighborhood is designed to serve a specific purpose: living, research, and lodging. It will have interconnected systems that will generate 100% of the required operational energy on site through floating and rooftop photovoltaic panels. Very cool. Connected to land by bridges, the modular and interlinked floating platforms will have neighborhoods that will treat and replenish its own water, reduce and recycle resources, plus each will provide its own innovative urban agriculture. Polymeropolis is conceptually located in the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, the area inundated with plastic debris from around the world. The term is an amalgamation of polymers, the objects contaminating the ocean, and metropolis. These proposed giant clusters of self-contained floating cities would enclose lagoons of clean ocean water and capture waste. They're designed to cleanse using captured and recycled plastic itself. Very innovative. They'd rely solely on tidal movement, reverse osmosis, and cultivation of local flora and fauna for electricity, water, and food production. The mixed-use urban rings would have housing for over 4,000 people each, and its waste-collecting phytoremediation uses nets and vegetation to restrict the passage of microplastics, plus it will purify the water. The waste is crushed and compacted in situ in floating factories. The architects say it prevents us from drowning in our own garbage. Oxagon is one of the 10 upcoming cities of the huge NEOM development in the Saudi Arabian desert. These include the luxury island Sindala, the Trojena ski resort, and the Line, which is pretty controversial. Located partially on land, the world's largest floating structure, with a 48 square kilometer core, will be arranged around water-filled squares connected by small canals. It will offer predominantly waterfront housing for 90,000 residents. Here you can see some interesting schematics, but the main point is that the floating port city and logistics hub is set to revolutionize global manufacturing with 100% clean energy, sustainable food production, plus so much more. We'll see. The climate crisis has also led to the decline of our marine ecosystems, where it's been estimated that up to 50% of our coral populations have been bleached to the point of extinction because of the rise in water temperature. The world's largest ocean restoration project proposal, Dubai Reefs, hopes to remedy this. The 77 square mile floating living lab is set to become the world's largest artificial reef at 200 square kilometers to create 1 billion corals and plant 100 million mangrove trees. The Marine Institute is designed to provide unique facilities to oceanographers, climate scientists, ocean farmers, marine educators, and the next generation of marine biologists. Using innovative blue infrastructure dubbed blue urbanism, it will offer regenerative ocean farming such as seaweed aquaculture and oyster farming to ensure food security. The site would be powered by 100% renewable energy generated from solar, hydropower, wave farms, and underwater tidal turbines. They're also planning for floating hotels to become an eco-destination for human and ecological wellness. As a tool for climate adaptation, Dubai Reefs is set to protect Dubai's coastline while generating more than 30,000 jobs in a green economy. Number 4, graceful horizontal greening goes above and beyond. I'm sure you'll agree that plant-filled, lower-energy biophilic architecture is more human-scaled. The Alton is certainly a graceful, step-back mixed-use development blend of retail, residential, and office spaces located at the nexus of Alton and Lincoln Roads in Miami Beach. It's defined by terraced low-rise 6 stories with lush, multifunction roof gardens on all levels. The rooftop has a series of private gardens for the 5 penthouses located here. Note the solar shading design of the oversized balcony overhangs, which allow for the lush open-air pocket gardens for each office. A floor-to-sky oculus brings in light to the offices and public areas. The landscape driveway leads to a suspended interior ramp and car park above. The Alton steps down toward the south and west to create sunny garden terraces on each level. Its distinctive silhouette will create a new landmark on the South Florida East Coast. Norman Foster says, "Our design is inspired by the climate and vegetation of Florida to create a protected courtyard and to merge the workplace with nature and the outdoors. The Alton will be a model of healthy lifestyle and sustainability." The Welcome Project in Milan is slated to be the biophilic office of the future, an urban regeneration project, wood-enveloped mixed-use complex that anchored around a public piazza. It will act as a catalyst to revive the city and unite people and nature for a better quality of life and work. 50,000 square meters have been layered and rotated here and are interwoven over 6 sites. The green architectural intervention is seen as reestablishing the urban access with solar panels on roofs and beautiful layered floors topped with timber panels and vegetation. Using low carbon emission materials, the design pours in natural light and offers noise mitigation, encouragement of movement with its layout, and as a result, healthy eating options and easy circulation. The Welcome Project is a massive one where the piazza will be greenery infused, used for informal work and meetings. The terraces will have kitchen and flower gardens and sheltered walkways. And the greenhouses will be special workplaces that will also be used for fun and entertainment. And it's to be certified as Platinum LEED. The Howard County Library in Maryland is to be a new type of public community center with event space located alongside Lake Kitamakundi. The structure appears as if it were lifted from the surrounding landscape, with its cascading planted staircases weaving across the facade to reveal the open double-story atrium. Reflecting the changed role of the library, it will hold 5 stories topped with a series of interconnected walkable roofs to be covered with grass, trees, and different types of plantings. The main library and workspaces will have a central amphitheater-like space to take advantage of the views across the lake. It will also have a teaching kitchen plus a cafe on the ground floor. Heatherwick Studios says that Columbia's socially radical vision inspired us to evolve the traditional library beyond books and into a new type of community center for broader learning and social exchange. The Museum of Ethnography in Budapest is a pretty spectacular building that will be great to visit one of these days. The collection debuted on the site at the 1896 Millennium Exhibition, and the state-of-the-art building was designed specifically to cater to its needs. The publicly accessible walkable green roof creates a pleasant community space, which architects say communicates with the urban texture of its surroundings. The new design shows a glass curtain wall that surrounds the landscaped roof garden and features a distinctive metal grid raster of ethnographic motifs. 60% of the building is located underground, and its edges dramatically lift up on both sides like a gigantic seesaw, providing spectacular views from the top. Its gently curving lines enable the building to function as a gateway and passage linking the park and the city. The Museum of Ethnography facilitates historical heritage, plus various aspects of contemporary society in a beautifully sustainable setting. Number 3, mega green districts, transforming communities and renewing nature in the city. Lowering carbon emissions, creating healthier environments, and working towards a zero carbon future. The greenhouses near Lake Geneva in Switzerland is another outstanding concept from Belgian visionary Vincent Caillebout, whose outstanding and sometimes fantastical biophilic designs have been inspiring us for years now. This concept seeks to reactivate the site's flower cultivation heritage. Its 480 carbon-absorbing sky villas have large panoramic balconies and are set in a completely car-free, mixed-use eco-district, employing CLT, cross-laminated timber, to reduce our carbon footprint. The plan reestablishes the city's north, south, and east-west connections and are set close to services and culture. On-site amenities are a 750 square meter children's nursery, 2 350 square meter public panoramic rooftops, restaurants, grocery stores, co-working, and workshops. This equates to over 5,000 square meters of public amenities, plus a 1 hectare or 10,000 square meter public park. Phytopurification lagoons and basins for water cleansing are dedicated to aquaponics, permaculture, and urban agriculture. Designed with bioclimatic principles, 100% of the apartments face south, with the sleeping quarters oriented to the north. Rainwater retention will be achieved from the green roofs and dense plantings, plus osmotic pumps in the basement will filter gray water for irrigation and facilities. The cascading and staggered duplex terraces will cultivate over 30,000 plants, and the greenhouses are expected to capture 170 tons of CO2. The Toranomon Azabudai district in Tokyo is quite large at 8.1 hectares, and the 2.4 hectare Azabudai Hills Central Square has been designed as a modern urban village, completed recently last month. It's a pretty bold sustainability statement for the Mega Green District to have been pre-certified both at Platinum level LEED for new development and WELL. It offers diverse urban functions with substantial greenery, in particular a walkable urban center with a central square and renewable energy power supply. Its irregularly shaped plot offered an opportunity to design this scaled-up pergola-like system to organize and unify the complex's many different elements. Utilizing topographical differences, the 6,000 square meter open space is filled with lush greenery and brings people together in 24,000 square meters of green space. Housing, shops, hotels, spas, a school, and even a temple are found within the sections framed by the grid. Here's a photo from last month showing the vegetation completed in Tokyo. How incredibly stunning. Once completed, the whole Toranomon Azabudai district will be a mixed-use city that will host about 20,000 employees and 3,500 residents. Plus, it will welcome anywhere between 25 to 35 million visitors per year. Oak Ridge Park in Vancouver, British Columbia, will be the city's new town center and cultural hub. Situated on 28 acres, the 5-tower development is mixed use, offering residential, office, retail, civic uses, and a park above a consolidated below-grade parking garage. There will be 2,600 homes available for 6,000 people, and about 500,000 square feet of workspace will be created for over 3,000 creative economy workers. In total, 1 million square feet of retail will be created with an approximate 10-acre city park. One of the largest community centers will be here, along with daycares, a public library, a world-renowned performing arts academy, multiple live music venues, plus indoor and outdoor performance spaces. Oak Ridge Park is targeting LEED certification, the City of Vancouver's low-emission green building policy, and low-carbon energy system. 43 hectares is certainly to be considered a mega district, and the Baoan master plan in China will be both green and transformative. Located on Shenzhen's Qi and Hai Bay, the mixed-use development runs along the 1.2-kilometer waterfront and integrates nature, culture, and commerce into a single cohesive environment, all linked with living architecture. The Cultural Heritage Park is the center of recreation with a large public plaza, marina, sports park, and bus terminal. A network of undulating green roofs are created by subtle shifts in the stacking levels. Multiple waterways create diverse, lush habitats and microclimates and include canals, rivers, and a wetland delta. Convenient access to public transportation is available via subway and bus. Offering world-class sports, entertainment, and leisure facilities, the eco-district will be designated LEED for New Development Gold, set to be a cultural community within a coastal ecology. Number 2, the Skyrise of the public realm. Reaching higher with biophilia, and reestablishing green connections with the city. Social resiliency and responsibility with urban biophilia on the land and grasping for the sky. In January, approval was granted for a new sky park in London, the Camden High Line. The plan is to turn a 1.2-kilometer disused railway viaduct into a new elevated urban park, like New York's High Line. Here, it will connect Camden Town to King's Cross for up to 20,000 users. It will provide much-needed green space to underserved communities while also creating a new attraction and destination. Importantly, it would offer pedestrian connectivity with its 4 or 5 public access points. Overall, opportunities will be maximized to improve biodiversity, sustainability, resiliency, community, and the local economy. The plan would connect the ground level to the Camden High Line through art installations on the underside of bridges and lighting on staircases. Sections of the walkway separated from the still operational tracks would have picnic tables, conversation pits, grandstand seating, and trampolines. Alongside the walkway, various planters will contain birch and oak trees, and butterfly gardens and perennials with hanging vines growing over the edge of the viaduct will be very pretty. The Camden High Line is being designed by the same landscape architectural team from New York City's High Line, James Corner Field Operations, now known simply as Field Operations, and the renowned Pete Audoff. Thousands of locals have donated time and money to the approximate £35 million linear park, with workshops and public engagement to ensure local benefit to create a 15-minute walkable neighborhood. Phase 1 is anticipated to open in 2025. The Terrarium Cheongdam in Seoul will be a mixed-use development, greatly expanding the public realm on the ground floor. By designing the public podium level to be open, inviting, and accessible, the tower will be more attractive to residents, tenants, and passers-by, as well as foster a greater sense of connection between the community and the city. A semi-private open-air sky garden inserted within the tower's facade, just below the residences, is an eye-catching detail that we've certainly seen before and most likely will see again. The design accentuates and features multiple access points to the public park with lush landscaping, a water feature, sculpture gardens, and an indoor gallery space. The Sky Garden has access to 360-degree views, and the double-story podium park is perforated with undulating pockets of skylights to flood light throughout. Located on a hilly site, the 2-story podium park uses its natural topography to guide visitors through different levels of the public terrace, gallery, and public plaza. The sky-high greenery-filled terrarium punctuating the 45-story skyscraper is open to residents and office tenants. The tower's podium space serves the community as a respite from the hustle and bustle of the streetscape and presents accessible connection points to the city's most desirable commercial and residential districts. Oda says, using design to expand the public realm, enliven cities, and strengthen communities. The JR Kumamoto Railway Station building in Japan is an amazing project and one of my new favorites. Its vision was to create a city where people want to live, work, and visit. Its mixed-use programming includes a train terminal, retail, hotel, offices, and residences. The centerpiece is the Boku no Mori, or Adventure Garden, an amazing large indoor multi-floor terraced garden of water and greenery that extends from the 7th floor to the ground level. Blurring the conventional boundaries between train station and park, lush vegetation greets visitors at every turn within the interior jungle. In particular, 3 waterfalls run through its 30-meter high glass and stone walls to its main feature, a 10-meter high waterfall based on the famous local Nabigataki Falls. In the graphic bottom left, you can see a cutout accentuating the length of the constructed waterfall. About 50 Japanese plant species are represented, many from the mountains of Kumamoto. In the lush green atrium space, misting cools down the area and creates a fantastic mountain-like landscape. The practice of Shinrin-yoku, or forest bathing, has proven to have positive psychological and physical health impacts, and many people come here just to relax. The project received the International Living Future Institute's 2022 Stephen R. Kellert Biophilic Design Award, integrating architecture with nature of the Kumamoto-Aso region. The transit hub is also a symbol of recovery from the large-scale earthquake that hit the area in 2016, bringing in happiness and green energy, residents say. The JR Kumamoto Railway Station building is a place to get up close and personal, reaping natural health benefits both consciously and unconsciously. Of course, in addition to catching a train. And number 1, Treescrapers, Forests of Imagination, Inside and Out. Trees, trees, and more trees equals resilient green lungs and climate-responsive vertical villages. Valley in Amsterdam is a spectacular project that Aramis and I were lucky to visit back in June. From bottom to top, its 3 mixed-use jagged towers consist of a 3-story underground parking garage, 7 stories of offices, and 200 apartments on the 8th floor and up. The green valley that winds between the towers on the 4th and 5th floors is accessible to everyone via 2 external stone staircases. On the day we visited, a camera shoot was underway, and you can see why with this unusual avant-garde setting. From the graphic on its programming, you can see how architects MVRDV has taken the contextual facade and broken it out, opening it up to people, plants, and extraordinary views. The sky bar on the tallest tower offers a 360-degree panorama open to the public and accessible via the elevator from the first floor. Because of its highly irregular shape, the 200 spectacular cantilevered apartments each have a unique floor plan. Fittingly, the entire rugged complex has entirely bespoke design and construction. The dramatic, geology-inspired, plant-covered valley has a tale of 2 facades. Its outer edges present to the financial district a shell of smooth, mirrored glass. Yet inside, the glass block has crumbled away to reveal craggy natural rock covered in greenery. In total, 370 vegetated areas spread over 26 floors sport 1,787 square meters of planting area. Biodiversity at Valley includes 271 trees and shrubs and about 13,500 plants and planters representing 220 plant species. On site are various bird and bat boxes plus bee and insect hotels. Valley has won numerous awards, including the 2021 Emporis Skyscraper Awards and recently the Arcello Awards 2023 Residential Tower of the Year Public Vote winner. The Crystal at Raffles City, Chongqing, China is another wildly fantastic project reminiscent of the Marina Bay Sands in Singapore with its cantilevered public and private skybridge. Not surprising, given they have the same designers, Safdie Architects. The mixed-use development and civic hub is situated at the estuary of famed Yangtze and Jialing rivers on the historic Qiao-Tianmen Plaza. The Crystal is an enclosed 300-meter-long horizontal skyway sitting atop 4 of the 8 towers. At ground level, it has the fully landscaped and elevated Gateway Park podium. Private gardens and civic spaces include alfresco dining, lookouts, interactive fountains, playgrounds, public art, and a 50-meter-long outdoor infinity pool. The Crystal is an iconic green jewel and the largest indoor sky garden in the world, perched high above its public park where over 120 mature trees have been planted in different microclimates for unique functions. Challenges included establishing the 300-meter-long interior microclimate balance between human comfort and tropical tree conditions. The architects employed low emissivity facade glazing, retractable shade sails, integrated grow lights, and floor ventilation, in addition to the correct plant selection. They also came up with an innovative tree replacement strategy, planting additional mature trees in on-site nurseries located on different levels to be replenished as necessary. The Crystal is a fully programmed horizontal skyscraper, 250 meters up, with a glass-bottomed public viewing deck with projects from one end, accessible through the open-air park below. The Civic Hub acts as a catalyst for downtown regeneration, creating a new icon for Chongqing, providing over 30,000 square meters of public space. And finally, I'll leave you with Treescrapers by Vincent Calibote, an idyllic concept for New York City based on its Green New Deal or Climate and Communities Protection Act. The act aims for an 85% reduction in greenhouse gas emissions by 2050 compared to 1990 and provides 70% renewable energy by 2030 and zero electricity emissions by 2040. The architecture firm believes the scheme should be directed to low-income and pollution-affected communities. They envision 4 adaptable treescaper typologies and 4 strategies using BIM and AI. The eco-design strategy is based on 4 major pillars. Number 1 is compliance with climate-responsive design, sculpting buildings based on climatic data. These buildings represent the WAVES typology. Eco-design strategy number 2 is integration of renewable energies, self-consumption by axial wind turbines, solar panels, and geothermal energy. These buildings represent the pixels typology. Eco-design strategy number 3 is spatial agility, hyper-flexible habitats that can be transformed at will. These buildings represent the petals typology. And these buildings represent the slabs typology. The eco-design strategy number 4 is urban agriculture. The architects say, on the roofs of buildings and in the heart of the plots, we imagine integrating greenhouses and market gardening orchards to strengthen solidarity and social cohesion at the scale of residents and neighbors. What a wonderful vision for all-around equity and sustainability in the built environment, embracing living green architecture at its finest. So that's it for 2023. Here are some of the inspirational sources and resources I've used while scouring the living green architecture world. If you have any suggestions, we're always open, so please let us know which designers and projects should be included next year. Please visit us at Greenroofs.com to stay on top of all the global green roof and green wall news, and get your company all the exposure you deserve by getting listed in the directory. I hope you've enjoyed my 17th installment of Greenroofs.com's Top 10 list, and I look forward to compiling the 2024 hot list next year. Don't forget to join us on social media, and please stay connected. You can do so by submitting your work to the project's database and publishing your stories with us and our international readership. I hope to see you somewhere in the living green architecture world in 2024. Bye for now.